This Gotham Filmers production is intended for a mature adult audience. It is rife with harsh language and East Coast humor that will not be agreeable with persons requiring preferential treatment or safe spaces. You are warned to click off to milder content at this time. Those of you remaining, welcome to Gotham, a serious town on a serious earth. Appearing one night only at the Cobalt Club, welcome Edward Joseph Delaney of Gotham Filmworks.
Good evening, citizens of Gotham, and welcome to the Cobalt Club. Hey, great to see you again. Just a show of hands, how many of you out there are parents? Right. Moms and dads, right? Great. How many single moms? Whoa. Was it like 27 of you clustered in one area? Who's taking care of the kids? How about single dads? How many families with two dads? Two moms? Doesn't matter. Why? This is Gotham. We're all inclusive over here. All that matters is your parents, you stepped up. Outstanding. Now, what we do tonight is discuss with you a few things every kid should know. Few things every kid should know. I'll just borrow on my own experience. Those of you who know me for quite a while think I'm about to go, oh damn, we're in for it now. I remember when I was a little kid, I was like 5 years old, and 1971, we had some snowfall. Wow, my dad wants to get the driveway and the front walk cleaned out. What's the easiest way to do that? Hey son, want to go build a snow fort? Here's how this is done. You take you shovel the snow off the driveway, drop it in the garbage can, right? Fill it to the top, tamp it down, drag it all the way out onto the front lawn, flip it over, pull it up. You got a nice column of tightly packed snow. See? Then you go back and repeat the process. You're still shoveling and shoveling, keep doing this. You do this about 30 times, or maybe 40. By the time you do it, you've shot away 3 to 5 hours of your life, but you've got this great big round snow fort, and the driveway and the front walk are totally clean. By this time, the other parents are waking up. They're coming outside, and they look over to my dad and say, "Bob, how'd you get the snow clean off so fast?" "Me and the kid made a snow fort." See? My dad was very inventive about stuff like that. He gets you to do stuff. You do one job by just doing another. It's very smart about that. But as will happen, springtime comes, right? Springtime in the early 1970s, right? So here we are. We're living in Baltimore, Maryland, and there's a Chevy van just parked a little bit up the ways of the road there. The engine's not on, but the damn thing is bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm going, what the hell? What's the matter with that thing? You know? So I look at my dad. Dad, that thing's engine's not on, but it's bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down. How the hell's it doing that, Dad? Dad says, I'll tell you how that happens. There's 2 or more hippies in the back of that goddamn van, and after they make a mistake, my fucking taxes are going up. That was Dad. Blatant reality. I don't get it, Dad. What are they doing back there, man? So this is the point. Here I am, age 5, the band's still bouncing up and down. Dad's got to give me the talk, about the whole reproduction thing. Okay, a couple of people go to the bed, or they go to a van, or they go in an elevator, whatever the hell they try to do this. This is how the process works, and so much time conception starts, and so much time, first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, all this kind of stuff like this. And then boom, someday some little bastard comes popping out, and you got no end of drudgery and responsibilities. That sounds terrible, Dad. You're right, it's a mistake. How do your taxes go up? Well, they're going to pay for the damn procedure, so my tax had to go up, so someone else just paid for it. So then I'm like, okay, well, I don't know, Dad. That's like a good idea to me. How do you think you got here? I don't know. You didn't go into that very much. So, yeah. Then they said, so I'm finally getting around to them. I'm like, Dad, how do you prevent some kind of mistake like that from happening? Because I presume people are still going to want to make the fan bounce up and down, but they're not going to want the responsibility. I mean, they're hippies after all. They're not great on being, reliable. Yes, all right, the only way it can be avoided? The only way it can be avoided is with the proper purchase, deployment, usage, and disposal of a one birth control device, i.e. condom. And you got to go out and explain me all that stuff, too. And so what happens is, inevitably, your dad is giving you the talk, but it's not going to sink in. You're not going to get the full impact until he decides to take you on the walk. So, here it is sometime later. We're in Baltimore, Maryland, and we're in there to go see Come Back, Charleston Blue. And so we park quite a number of blocks away from the movie theater, and because there's too much traffic in the area anyway. So we park a distance away, we're walking there. We're walking. And my dad says, Dad looks down into the mouth of an alley and says, see that guy? Guy's surrounded in bottoms, chucking up his guts. See that guy, son? Yeah, Dad, I see that guy. Don't drink too much. Okay, Dad? We're walking on. Down this block, up that block, a little over, Some guy lying out there, he's lying in his car, door's wide open, he's like this, just lying there with a needle in his arm. We don't know if he's dead or alive, You could put a toe tag on this guy that says this monk is as dead as he looks, and you wouldn't be far wrong, because he don't look like he's moving too much, and he's kind of pale. And my dad says, see that guy? Don't do drugs. Boom. So we're walking, and you hear a loud ruckus about another block or so away, and you smell a lot of very odd scents. It sure as hell are flowers. This kind of scents do not come from nature, rather than something trying to synthesize nature. So we come around the block, look down the street, and there's plenty of black and blue limousines all up and down the street. So many of them had DPL plates. Remember, we're in Baltimore, not far from Washington, D.C., right? So these are diplomats' plates, right? And of course, going up and back to these cars are, of course, prostitutes. All right, son, this block here, 2 object lessons. All right, 1, don't run for Congress. 2, don't bring those kind of broads around to the house. Boom. So there we go. He's giving me the walk. He's giving me the talk. And here I am, 5 years old, and I'm like, wow. This is pretty cool stuff to know, because most kids, they're lucky their parents talk about this stuff when they're 8, 10, 12, whatever. Oftentimes by then, it's too damn late, right? So anyway, we get home, and of course, since one of the things my mother had been teaching me how to do since I was a little kid was how to maintain the house. She taught me how to, she even had Uncle Joe put caster wheels underneath the step stool so I could get around the kitchen and get the pots and pans down. She taught me how to cook. And she also taught me how to bake my own cake. When I was turning 6, she taught me how to bake my own cake. I thought that was great. And then I knew how to mop the kitchen floor. I knew how to clean the latrines. I knew how to vacuum and do a whole how to clean windows and many, many other things. And because really, if you're going to live in a home, like it or not, kids, if you're going to live in a home, you got to help out. Okay, your parents can't do everything. Parenting in and of itself is a full-time job. It really is. So if you're, beyond 4 or 5 years old, time for you to help out. It doesn't take a lot of muscle or sense to shove a vacuum cleaner around or do some dusting or you sweep the basement or whatever. Yeah, she was even teaching me how to take care of my brother. Because she would teach me that you had a little spoon. See, and you have to remember, my family, none of us were born with a silver spoon. No, our spoon was either red or turquoise, and I'm pretty sure it said Dairy Queen on it. But there he is. She's teaching me how to feed my little brother with the spoon here. You put the spoon up to halfway in the baby food. My brother loved the applesauce, by the way. He could kill that. You just put that in his little mouth, let him eat that and stuff like that. And how to feed a little kid. And, how to heat up the milk and how to do stuff like that. And I'm like, why are you teaching me this stuff, Mom? I don't want to do this, I want to watch Speed Racer. Speed Racer and stuff for 45 more minutes. I At this point, Mom got really clever. She pulled out a watch. She bought a watch. Yeah. You put this on. I'm going to teach you how to tell time, okay? This is when Speed Racer's on right here. This is when Star Trek is on. Yeah. This was cool. But, why are you teaching me this anyway?
I'll tell you why I'm teaching you this here. Someday you're going to be a father yourself. You got to learn how to do this.
Oh, hell no, huh? No! I'm not making a mistake like that. I am not going to have something shitting on me all the damn time. No! Not happening! No! I'm going to wear one of them condominiums that Dad was talking about. I'm not going to make a mistake like this. Mom was like, wait a minute. Condoms? Your father talked to me about condoms? Yeah, he said that's not to make a mistake like him. You have to remember, my brother was the do-over baby, right? My mother figured out by the time I was 3.5, 4 years old, oh yeah, I'm going to have to replace him. He's not working out. My brother. He's the do-over baby. And so I'm like, no, I'm not going to have something like that in my damn life, I mean, it's easy with the dog. You just take the dog outside. The dog does what they want outside. Come back inside, bada boom, you're fine. But a kid? Oh, hell no. You can't do that with a kid. You know how it is with a kid. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm like, oh, I'm going to condoms like Dad said. So, it ends up happening is my mother falls my dad, falls on my dad.
You told him about condoms? You told him about this?
The neighbor's van was bouncing up and down. The kid asked me a question. What am I going to do, lie to him and tell him about the boys and the bees over here? What am I going to tell him about the stork? Come on now, I'm going to insult the kid's intelligence. What little he's got, huh? So, yeah, he came right out. He gave me the talk. He gave me the walk. Mom was a bit of a shock to Mom, but that's one of the things a kid has to know. And really, parents, you better tell them, because if you don't, the streets will. Where you going to be then, huh? As will happen, your kid is inevitably going to have to get some kind of public education. Yep, so they're on the bus to kindergarten. Now, what happened was my grandpa, who was a World War I veteran, and he was a New Jersey cop, some days before I started school, we were going to visit him, and he said, boy, you kind of smile for your age. They're going to come after you, the bastards, Because he knew every single time you start school, yeah, some bully's going to come after you somewhere. And you don't take care of them fast, and you don't take them down hard, they're going to be coming after you for the rest of your damn life. So he taught me, basically what happens with, some of the things he was taught, was that any opposition, any criminal, any bully, anybody needs two things to function in combat. They need to be able to breathe, and they need to be able to balance. You take that away, you're on your way to taking them down. So he taught me a few things. He says, all right, you use your lack of height as an advantage. And he taught me how to strike in somebody's knee and bring them down, and then go to work on their nose, their eyes, whatever else. And so, because he heard like the schools were getting worse and worse. He's a cop. He's going to hear these things. So here's a few days later. I go to take the bus to school. I step in, and there's hundreds of us stepping off the bus, But some third grader decides to pick on me. And a little croy comes up, with his knife. He's like, hey, give me $1 million cookies money. I decided right away, I'm not going to talk to this guy. I'm not going to de-escalate. I'm not going to do this stuff like the grandpa was saying. He was a cop, because I don't carry a 45 like Grandpa does, okay? All I got is 50 cents in my pocket, my little school box with, crayons and whatnot in it. So you see the knife, first thing you do is kick into the side of the guy's knee, hard. You start to bring him down, you grab him down the rest of the way, and you smash in his nose. You take him down, and then his friends move. Grandpa taught me another thing. As soon as you strike one guy, pivot off him, because his friends are coming in next. So you strike one, move to the next, and go back to the first guy. Don't just concentrate on one guy, the other guys will jump right on you, you're done, that's it. So, of course, the principal, Mr. Brown, hears the ruckus, comes out of his office, and sees these kids lying on the ground screaming, and I'm looking around waiting to see who else is going to jump me. And all of a sudden, it was a sunny day. It was a sunny day, great big windows, light sun shining in. All of a sudden, there's this looming shadow over me. And this voice like James Earl Jones, young man, Why are you fighting? I turn around, look up. If you want to imagine Mr. Brown, just imagine actor Lou Gossett. Now add a foot. Yeah. Motions for me to go into his office. He asked me why I'm fighting. I said, I give my 50 cents for milk and cookies. And he looks at me, looks at them and says, no 5-year-old should know how to do that. Who taught you that? He said, well, my grandpa. Who's your grandpa? He told me. World War I, he's been a cop in New Jersey for decades. You know, he said, I'm small, they're gonna come after me. And yeah, 50 yards into the place, they did. So we have a talk. And you know, this is the guy who had portraits of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X in his office, as well as some of his army photographs. This was a no shit guy. So we talk a little more. You know, he tells me to go to class, and so I go to class. I get in there, and the other kids have already been talking. And you know, they're talking to the teacher, they're talking to the teacher's assistant, and they try to quiet everybody down. And you know, the teacher's talking to another teacher. The teacher's assistant comes up to me and says,
Oh, so you made quite a little stuff of yourself today, didn't you? Think you're a big man now, huh? How would you like to sing a song for the class?
oh, she shouldn't have said that. Game on, damn it. Go over to the cabinet, pick up the guitar, walk in there. All the kids are looking at me like, they don't know me yet. These kids, they don't know me from nobody. All they know is I'm the guy that just had a fight getting into the place. So, strum a few keys. When I was just a little boy, my mama said to me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. Now I'm here in Folsom Prison, watching the train go by. Yeah, you know, in the middle of the song here, and the teacher's assistant, I mean, she suddenly turns, I didn't know there were at least 78 to 100 different shades of red that a human face could turn, but apparently she accomplished all of them within about 4.5 seconds, and she yells out, You! You're going to the principal's office! I know the way! So I put the guitar down, I walk back to the principal's office, knock on the door, walk in, and where was it this time? Sir, I walked into the room and the teacher's assistant told me to sing a song. What song did you sing? Well, Folsom Prison, sir. Do you know Ring of Fire? Yeah, so that was my first day at kindergarten. And of course, what happens is you're gonna get more heat from all the teachers whining about that, because the natural order of things is this, see? You have to realize our public school system runs almost exactly like our prison system. Think about it. Yeah, okay. What do we have in our public school system, right? We have a principal, right? We have a principal, okay? And on top of that, you've got your teachers, and you've got your counselors, and you got your other people like that, so on and so forth. And then you got your bullies, right? You got your bullies. What do we have in the prison system? Not too different, right? Okay, conversely, let's look at what the prison system has, right? Prison system has a warden and various guards and counselors, and he's got a yard boss. See? He's got a yard boss. You know, the principals have got bullies. The warden's got a yard boss. That's kind of how they work. They're comparable. Right. Sort of like how the Catholic Church isn't too different in structure than the Mafia. They just have a couple of different names. You know, instead of cardinals, you have Cobalt regimes. You get the idea. There's a whole causal effect. Part of the whole idea is the entire educational system is a great big weed out factory. What they want to do is basically turn you into a punk, a lunatic, or a criminal. They'll allow a few kids to move up here and there. A couple of kids they hold with great promise, and we're told to respect these little weasels because they have all the, you know, they have all the right parentage, they have all the right money, all the right social, political, corporate, religious connections, or whatever. And they're the ones that schools hold the great promise for. Of course, we all know what happens with those kids. Inevitably, they screw things up, At best, they become the regional manager in charge of butt kissing at some regional department store that'll never be going under when Amazon's market share raises higher and higher and higher still and can provide products they certainly cannot. So yes, our public educational system. Well, some of its, you probably noticed many of its agendas are diabolical. And here you are in this machine being groomed to function solely for the purpose of your feudal corporate imperialist masters. I always find it hilarious, all these people that got all these bumper stickers on the backs of their cars. You know, my kid's not a student here, my kid's not a student there. Then of course he has the other ones which are humorous. Yeah, my gamer whipped your honor student. That kind of thing. But yes, one thing you've got to make sure your kids know how to do, parents. Make sure they can defend themselves or anybody else. Absolutely. Make sure they can defend themselves. The problem you have nowadays, even if this is probably back in my day, 40 some odd years ago, but they would try to prescribe medications for these kids. What happens when they come off the medications? What happens when medications don't work? Well, the little moron ends up picking up a weapon, going to the school and doing something monumentally stupid, and we hear about it every couple of weeks. You don't want your kid doing that. So yes, one, you're going to have to teach them how to defend themselves. You're going to have to teach them not to be weak. But on the other hand, you've also got to teach them how to diplomatize the teachers and the shrinks and the social engineers and all the rest of that myriad of labyrinthine bureaucracy these kids are going to have to run the gauntlet through as they try to explain why they try to take down somebody with a gun or a knife or anything else and try to do them harm on the school grounds, because we all know the school's not, they talk about zero tolerance, but they're not going to stop. They're not, no, parents understand this, most of your teachers and guidance counselors and whatnot are not going to put their hands in between two kids fighting, because that's akin to putting your hands in between two barking dogs. They don't want to get bit. Very few of them are going to take that risk. The few that will stand up and will stop bullying, those teachers are magnificent. They're rare, but they're magnificent. And if you find one, honestly, parents, back them up all the way if you can find a teacher that's that good. But it's rarer. So teach your kids to physically as well as mentally defend themselves. Also, if your kid is large or fast or smart, well, guess what? Guess what? You got the superheroes code going for you there, because, well, people like us, we try not to let bad things happen to good people. That's just our shtick. It gets us hated by the establishment, but it's our shtick. It's what we do. Something else your parents should know. Some of you have a wealth that you might not have entirely realized. I mean, you're furiously, frantically trying to raise this kid, and you're trying to make ends meet, you're trying to find time for this, time for that, time for all these commitments. You're really up against it, and you know it. But one thing every kid should know is their family history, because there's a wealth of history in there. There really is. Now, I remember being taught about my great-grandpa who came over to this country in the New York Harbor, and my father's side. And of course, there's signs everywhere saying no Irish need apply. That's the way of saying we bloody don't want you. Oh yeah, the Europeans made you come here, but we don't want you. The only place who's going to hire them, the United States Army, in exchange for citizenship. If he got back alive, he joined the army. They put him in a blue coat, gave him a musket. And basically his pay was being given to his wife and kid. And so there it was. He went off, did his job, and prosecuted his mission. And freed some plantations, tossed the keys to the slaves and said, "Plantation's yours for as long as you can keep it." And it just kept on going. Well, inevitably the war ends. And General Lee admits to General Grant, the only reason the North won the war is because the North had more Irish. Okay. Goes back up, marches all the way back up to New York to find his family. Took him weeks upon weeks going through tenements trying to find his family. And of course, you know, being able with his hands, he ends up in a job in construction, which back then, if you remember how construction was, you might be up many, many, many stories on a rickety scaffold, not made of much. And, as will happen, these guys are up there doing their building, and they're singing their Gaelic songs, and laughing, getting all bawdy, having a good time, slinging hammers and putting down brick and whatnot. And someone will always go by, someone always has to bother the Irish, right? They don't like the Irish and singing, they don't like it being happy, they don't like anything like that. They yell out, you Irish! They ought to put you on an island someplace! And the Irish all start laughing. And Grandpa yells down, you're on that island, you bloody wanker! Welcome to bloody Manhattan! Yeah! Yep. That was great Grandpa. So as what happened, remember they had rickety scaffolding back then. You'll be carrying some bricks up. The scaffolding might hold, but the ladder you're on doesn't. It breaks. You go down, bouncing off things all the way down the way, 6-8 stories. Great Grandpa hits the ground. The bricks come crashing down on him. Now you have to remember, they didn't let the Irish into the hospitals back then. They didn't let the blacks and the Chinese into them either. No, if you got injured, if you got sick, no, you were largely on your own. So his boyos picked him up, put him on a door, carried him back to the tenement, gave him a bottle, put him on his bed, then a few last swigs while his family stood around him as he bled internally and died. That's great Grandpa. Yeah, on my dad's side. Then, of course, is my grandpa, who witnessed the whole thing. He told me about that kind of thing and what it was like for them growing up. And he told me about when he went off to do his part in World War I and came back, and he was a cop. It was had some amazing cop stories. It's one thing about cops. You go to a cop bar with Grandpa, you're a little kid, and your dad, you go with your dad, your grandpa. And these cops have endless stories to tell. And this is all family history. This is the stuff. You're not going to find this stuff on Ancestry.com. You're probably not going to find this stuff on the History Channel. This is family history. This is from you. This is from the people in your life. So, parents, every chance you get, have your kids talk to the. If you're still around, talk to the great-grandparents. Talk to the grandparents. Definitely talk to the aunts and uncles. Talk to their friends in the neighborhood if you can, but learn about these people. I mean, I have an aunt that was a seamstress in Germany when the swastika rose. Now, the problem she had, she couldn't get out of Germany. Seamstresses don't make enough money to buy the visas, to buy the train tickets, the boat tickets out and back in. You had to buy a two-way ticket if you were going out of there. And you had to have your papers in order. That cost money. You didn't have it. Yeah, you may get a truck ride out to the rail yard, followed by a one-way ride to someplace you don't want to be. Now, her problem was she was concerned that a relative, quite distant back, may have been or might not have been of the Jewish faith. And keep in mind, the Nazis did not see the Jews as a faith, as a religion. They saw them, the Nazis saw the Jew as a race to be wiped out. So anybody who's a practitioner or related to a practitioner to that, they became a target. And he also can't get out of Germany. What does she do? The most boldest move anybody could ever think to do. She joins the German army and hides in the lowest ranks as a telecommunications surveillance expert, listening to communications going in and out by phone lines day in and day out. And this is family history. She didn't get out of Europe until after the war was over. The rest of the family was over here, and they have plenty of stories too to tell about rationing and how difficult it was over in America during the war, but nothing like what anyone else to put up with. And she had, by the time I was born, she had traveled the world many times over, taken a lot of photographs, a lot of slides, and she would show these things to me, my brother and her cousins and whatnot. And yeah, a lot of wealth of family stories. I had my own grandpa on my mother's side. A lot of my artistic talent, comes from Joseph Ornato, right? He came over from Palermo, Sicily, and he was a playwright and a producer on Broadway. He did vaudeville shows and dramas and plays. He taught acting at the Translux Theater, right? And then there was my grandma's side of the family. Carl Bernard Rogan Kemper was one of the people that worked on the George Washington Bridge. I think he also worked on the Windsor Bridge up in Detroit. This is the man who figured out how much metal, how many bolts, how many this, that, and the other thing you needed per day, or per hour, per day, per week, per whatever, to assemble whatever it is you're assembling, whether it's a bridge, tunnel, whatever. So a lot of the artistic and design skill I got came from my mom's side of the family. I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't talked to these people, and if I don't, or if grandma and mom hadn't told me about them. But yeah, if nothing else, if you've got those aunts, uncles, grandparents, whatnot in your family, you have a wealth of history. And make sure your kids are knowing where they're coming from, because you don't want somebody to tell them a lie and somebody to tell them, oh no, this thing on the internet says this. Well, they weren't there. They have some statistics about when somebody might have landed, when they might have lived, but they don't have the real details about what kind of difficulties that person went through, and what factory they worked in, or what union they ever joined, or anything else that might have happened. I mean, I had an Uncle Lou, my great Uncle Lou actually, and I mean, this was Sandman Gauthier, boxer, Sandman Gauthier. He would knock a mofo out, Sandman Gauthier. And we worked for some time for various jobs in New York, New Jersey. Then he became a merchantman, and a merchant seaman, going over to places, and going over to Europe and going to Asia and whatnot. Man, traveled the planet. And then, of course, during the Spanish Civil War for a time, his ship put in, and well, ship's not leaving for quite some time. He becomes a mercenary during the Spanish Civil War. May well have known pretty well a gentleman named Eric Blair. E-R-I-C, hit the space bar, Blair, B-L-A-I-R, also known to the world as Mr. George Orwell. Look that up. Because George Orwell was also fighting in that Spanish Civil War. Yep. So your family meets some incredible people, and you're not going to know this unless you talk to them. I could go on and on for hours about some of the things that the grandparents went through, and the aunts and uncles. They had some amazing stories to tell. They really did. But what you want to do is make sure your kids know your family history. This is a wealth you might not have known that you had. Now you do. Put it to use. Now you all know, from having grown up yourselves, that kids always want things, always need things, right? Now, this brings us to our next topic. Kids should know how to make money, okay? It's one of the many things kids should know how to do. Now, when I was a little kid, that meant shoveling driveways in the winter. That meant doing odd jobs here, weeding this, cleaning that, whatever. But here it was, I remember it was October 25th, 1975, when my dad took me to see Evel Knievel, because he jumped over 14 Greyhound buses, right over the top. Comes down on the, hard on the ramp, and it cracked part of the suspension of the bike, but that Harley Davidson still carried him through. And of course, he went on to praise Harley Davidson quite lavishly for how well they designed and built the bike for him. But of course, here I was, a kid at the time. I was always, I had my BMX bike, and I'll tear ass with that. You're racing, you're jumping over things. But the thing is, you're 10 years old, you're 9, 10 years old, and you're realizing, that BMX bike, it's fun, but it ain't enough. You can't do what a motorcycle can do. Oh no, it cannot. And your dad's recognizing that, he recognizes your whole interest in Evel Knievel, because you started with your Evel Knievel phase back in the 70s. Those of us that you were there, you remember how it was. You're watching Wide World of Sports, you're like 6, 7 years old, you see Evel Knievel for the first time. And you started with the Evel Knievel phase. Racing bikes, jumping over things. Remember, Evel Knievel was a master of all sports. He could play hockey, he could play basketball, football, baseball. One thing he could never master, though, he said, it's easy to get the bike up in the air. Landing is the problem. That's the one sport that he said he never completely mastered, so he kept doing it and doing it. Plus, it was lucrative for him. It was fantastic. But here my dad's seeing me and realizing, he's running that bike harder and faster, and it's just not doing it for him anymore. And I come in one day and a little harder on the bike there, aren't you, son? Well, I cleaned it off, Dad. Yeah, I know, but you're running harder, faster. What's the matter? It doesn't go fast enough, Dad. It doesn't jump far enough. A few yards, okay. We're not have a motorcycle. We're on a motorcycle. Huh? And my dad had seen all those specials with Evel Knievel, raising his kids and teaching his kids how to ride motorcycles and stuff like that. And so my dad figured, okay, spring's coming. What are you gonna do about this? Kid wants a motorcycle. So my dad does this. That's very smart because he's gonna get plenty of work done anyway. So he says, so what he ends up doing is, all right, tell you what, I got a method wherein you can. What if I told you I have a method wherein a year from now you can have that motorcycle? Year, a long damn time. Yeah, take you that long to do it too. So what happens a few days later? They buy a lawnmower. And it's one of the best things any parent can buy their kid. Especially back in 1976. You're 10 years old, they buy you a lawnmower. My dad said, see that right there? You know what that is? That's a lawnmower, Dad. Yeah. Mower, bag, you collect all the leaves and grass. Yeah, it's nice. No, it ain't just a lawnmower. Dad, it's money in the bank. He says, first you learn how to mow this lawn. You mow your own lawn. And then, when you get good at it, in a few weeks, you go to neighbors. Right? And you ask them if they want you to mow their lawn. It costs 5 cents to fill the tank on that mower. See? So you put that mower on your go-kart with a couple of kids with a can of gas, cleaning kit, some lawn bags. Boom. You're a lawn service. $5 a lawn. Huh? Yeah. And what happened was it worked. So a lot of these parents and a lot of these, even these people that were single, well, they don't want to mow the lawn. To take the weekend and have to mow the lawn. They'd rather sleep late. They would much rather come home, some afternoon and, oh yeah, the lawn's already mowed, the grass clippings or the leaves or whatever are already bagged up, on the side of the house, where they can just toss them out on garbage day, no problem. So yeah, I get $5-10 a lawn, and I was walking around Cottonwood Station where I was living in Edwardsville, Illinois at the time, and I'm mowing lawns. I'm making some money. This is pretty cool. And my dad said, okay, you keep mowing lawns. Come back a year from now, and I marked a year on the calendar. He said, you show me how much money you make a year, I'll match it. We'll go find you a motorcycle. And so I did that. I was mowing, shoving driveways or whatever else, and yeah. So come back, just, show what the balance was of my little savings account. He said, all right, I'll match that. He's a man of honor, that's what he did. He matched it. Then, so all of a sudden I had double what I just had before, and well over $400. And we go down, we live in Edwardsville, so we go down first, just across the street, across the street, down the block from the Wildey Theater on Main Street in Edwardsville, was a little Kawasaki dealership. They had brand new Kawasaki's in there. They had dirt bikes too. And they were nice. A little pricey, but nice. So we checked out them. Went over to Collinsville where On's Yamaha was. And On's Yamaha not only had plenty of new bikes, but they also had used ones. Because for your first bike, you don't want a brand new one. Because you're going to bounce around and get hurt a lot, and you're going to need to learn how to maintain that thing. You don't want to tear up a new bike. No. So we also checked out Hondas, and we checked out Harley Davidsons and Suzuki's. We ended up going to On's Yamaha, and ended up choosing this little Yamaha YZ80. Those of you who've seen my Facebook page, see that picture of me at age 11, with big yellow helmet on, and riding this little YZ80. My mother took the photograph, panned the camera, and so what happened is, I got this Yamaha. First time I tried to ride it in On's Yamaha's lot, and I'm trying to drive home the yard there, and I'm in first gear. I'm starting to rev up high, so I try to shift into second gear. I was not good with the ratio of clutch to accelerator, and I let the clutch out. The clutch slipped out of my hand too fast, and whoo! Bike flew up in the air, flew up like this, came over like that, and landed on top of me. Mere yards, not even mere feet away from a church that had an abortion is murder sign all over it. So, yeah, I could have accidentally made a political statement by putting that damn bike through that sign. Good thing it popped up and flopped on me instead of the sign. But that almost happened. I almost ended up crashing into this church parking lot right next door. That's how close this stuff is in that town. But, But I ended up bringing that bike home. And, true to form, the bike needed a lot of work. So I ended up needing more spark plugs. And you got to clean the air filters every time you use a dirt bike because it's sucking in all that dirt and dust. So you've got to know how to clean that air filter. You know how to be able to clean things, fix things and whatnot. That costs money. So, in order to pay for it all, you're still going to be mowing lawns. And your friends will scratching their heads like, Ed, you got a dirt bike and you're still shoving a mower all over Cottonwood Station and all over Cottonwood Village and whatnot, mowing lawns. And we don't get it. Why don't you ride your bike? I said, because the bike needs fuel, the bike needs oil, the bike needs new parts, it needs maintenance and whatnot. This stuff all costs. So, push the lawnmower during the week, and then I would get my homework done, and then go back to school the next day. But on the weekends, that's when I got to ride the bike. And the thing is, what you learn with the motorcycle is what it's going to cost later for the car. See? Because you're going to turn 16, 18, whatever the legal driving age is in your town. And you're going to want that driver's license, you're going to want that car, and it's going to cost a lot more than that dirt bike because you got to handle not just maintenance and tax costs and fuel costs, but also insurance. It's going to tear you up. That stuff's expensive, no doubt about it. So it teaches you responsibility. Teach your kid how to earn money, teach them how to be responsible, teach them how to put savings away, teach them something called I think in economics they call it opportunity cost. This is what you might gain or what you might give up. Like you might see your friends going out there and they're buying a lot of alcohol. They're getting soused. That's what they spend their money on. That's an opportunity cost. See, they spend on that. You don't spend on alcohol. You spend on a car. See? So you may not have the opportunity to get shit-faced, but you do drive around in a Datsun 280Z. Sober. Always. So teach them that. Teach the kid how to make money. Teach the kid how to be responsible. And another thing kids should know how to do. Drive more than one vehicle. See, I remember when it was hilarious because we went to Silver Dollar City in 1976, and they had speedboats out on the lake near the hotel. Well, of course, my dad, you see all the people having fun with speedboats. He wants to rent a speedboat too. Now, yeah, a lot of Irish are very nautical. They're very good at fishing. My dad was pretty good too, but he was not exactly what you call the able seaman. So he goes to rent this speedboat, and the guy at the dock says, "Oh, you drive it just like you drive your car." Yeah, that guy didn't know my dad drove a 280Z. So bow on the boat. Dad, stomps pedal. Whoa! We're hauling ass through there, and the guy at the docks had told him, "Stay away from those buoys. Stay away from those rocks." So what does my dad do? Yeah, a little bit of Irish sense he has. Straight for the buoy. By the way, son, what's that marking on that buoy? And there's a little key, a little chart, right on the panel in front of you on the boat that shows you what all the markers on the buoys mean. one means rocks, one means shallow ground, that kind of thing like that. And, well, that one there means rocks. All right? What do? Turning's an option, Dad. Boom! Turns the boat over sideways like this. We're hauling ass. My mother and my brother screaming their heads off in the back. Dad's having a great time. He's throwing wakes all over the place. If you've ever seen the movie Gator, which was the sequel to White Lightning with Burt Reynolds, that was my dad trying to drive this speedboat, okay? Here he was making like Gator McCluskey through this lake, scaring the crap out of everybody, and causing wakes, and making water skiers all nervous. And then inevitably, the fuel starts to wind down. Get down, listen, So the guy in the yard starts calling us in, and my dad is still hauling ass on this boat way too fast, going toward the dock. And the guy's yelling and yelling. You can't hear him over the revving of the engine though. And my dad, the guy's like, slow down, slow down, slow down. What did it say? Settle over your go up here, come on, slow down. Dad's looking around, stands up the boat. Where the fucking brakes? Boat doesn't have any brakes. Shoom, right past it. The guy tries to throw a rope on the boat. Boat keeps going. Dad damn near ran the boat aground to stop the damn thing. Which brings us to another thing. Parents, make sure your kids know the most important thing on any vehicle they drive, except the boat. Brakes. Brakes are important. Whether it's a bicycle, a motorcycle, a scooter, car, truck, whatever. Brakes. Because if the brakes don't stop the car, something the hell else will. And you don't want your kid doing their imitation of a Jackson Pollock painting with their face smashed over the inside of the cockpit. Teach your kid to maintain a machine. In my case, it was pretty easy. I had a Datsun 280Z. You pop the hood. Hoods pop forward in those things. You had your 6-in-line. This is a 6-cylinder engine. 6 little spark plugs, right in line with a 4-cycle overhead cam and a fuel injector. So it wasn't hard to find the filter. And it wasn't hard to do a few other things too, because I was trying to learn from Bill Umhofer and some of the guys at Weston High School how to maintain these things without paying exorbitant fees at Bob Sharp Datsun at the time. So I tried to learn how to do stuff myself. And one of the main things, because one thing about having a Datsun is you're going to watch the thing rust away. It's like, when I bought my Datsun off my dad, it was a royal blue Datsun with these wire wheels. When I got it off him, by that time the car was 6 years old. Had a hole rusted through the bottom this big. Rocker panels were going, the fenders were next, but the engine was incredible. So I learned about scraping away rust and putting on Bondo in the holes and all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, but it's one of these kids are going to learn. But they also have to learn how to drive more than one vehicle. So we also went to the YMCA for the summer and did a little horseback riding. And then when I was 16, my mother also got me a glider lesson. So you fly off, you're in a sitting glider, you drag off the ground in a Cessna, and at some point the instructor behind you tells you, okay, pull that handle to the side, coil the equipment away in front of you. You're free, you're floating, that's it, you're on thermals. You're flying around in this thing, it's kind of fun. It was great. And the instructor wanted to have some fun. I said, you want everybody else to have some real fun? I said, hell yeah. He shoves the yoke down, the plane goes tail up like this, dives down, rolls up, does a complete loop. My wallet almost came out of my pocket. Come back down again in a few maneuvers. We were flying around in Waterbury, Connecticut back then. That was great. And then coming for a landing, I had a great time. So yeah, another thing, teach your kids how to drive more than one type of vehicle. That's also going to come in handy to them from time to time. Because inevitably, your kid's going to have to rent something, or if they're moving, they're going to have to know how to drive a U-Haul truck or whatever it is they're doing. So, or teach them how to drive a few different types of vehicles. Mobility, especially nowadays, when you may have to, when a kid, when they grow up, may have to move someplace quite a distance to get a job. Mobility, teach them mobility. It was easy for us, we moved all the time. Dad was always sending out resumes and always going out, back up, we're leaving. So yes, teach your kid how to drive more than one vehicle and how to maintain them and how to be responsible and how to care for them. Another object lesson. Another thing you want to be able to teach the kids is how to dress for an occasion. See? So you're on tight economic times, absolutely. But that's no reason for your kid to be walking around looking like a rag bag. Now, I've been talking to a number of people, and one interesting thing they do, right, they realize that they got a kid that might be a little difficult to fit. And they're thinking, okay, stuff at Goodwill ain't working out, and stuff you order online it's too tight and doesn't fit right. It's built for somebody too small. Maybe you got a kid who's a little bit big and that doesn't exactly fit into things so easy. Well, I've been talking to some of my friends at work. You know what they do? They have their kids, especially this works really good for the boys, they wear their granddad suits, because some of their granddads have been saving their suits ever since the 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever, in a cedar chest or a cedar closet. So you get these kids, show up in these really, you got plenty of kids will show up wearing something contemporary, and they all look kind of like clones. And then you got some of these kids will come out of there and they'll be wearing, they'll be wearing granddad's clothes. They'll be wearing, a suit. The lapels might be a bit wider, might be a bit different, like they wore back in the 40s or 50s. But it's still well maintained, still works. So they'll be doing that. Dress for the occasion. For work, obviously, you're going to wear your durable clothing that allows you to a lot of latitude of movement. Right. But just because you're a blue-collar guy, just because you don't make a hell of a lot of money, doesn't mean you always have to look like you just roll off the truck. Learn to dress for the occasion. Because some of us blue-collar guys, we clean up damn nice. That's another object lesson. Teach the kids to dress for the occasion. Now, one final note. This is one of the most important ones that any parent can teach a kid. What you want to do is demystify the liquor cabinet. See, I was raised European. So back when me and my brother were little kids, my dad would occasionally give us a little shot glass of wine or liquor with the meal. See? So here you are, 9, 10 years old or whatever, and he gives you a little bit of red wine to have with this fantastic steak and vegetables my mother would make. And, you'd rather have your Coca-Cola, which is right here, but no. I want you to have a drink of this. This is what adults drink with a meal like this, and you drink this, you eat your meal and you try this piece of a little bit of red wine, you drink it down like, ugh, Dad, stuff tastes like Robitussin, this stuff is awful. But my dad had a smart idea about that, see? Here we were little kids getting a drink of these things, we'd see him pour one from his cabinet. Sometimes it'd be wine, sometimes it'd be liquor, whatever. But that was his way. Every last one of them tastes worse than next. And the Napoleon brandy, if you ever had dental work, well, the quickest way to kill off some germs, throw down some Napoleon brandy. Guaranteed there's not a germ in hell, known to hell and man, that's going to survive inside your mouth after that Napoleon brandy hits it. But that's what he did. He demystified the liquor cabinet, because we knew just about everything that thing tasted like. After several months to a year, you have a little bit here, like we went on Fridays, and you take a little shot glass. Why do adults like this crap? You pay money for this? This is awful. But what happened was, years later, your idiot, when your idiot friends come over, they'll be like, dude, let's hit your dad's liquor cabinet. Oh man, you don't want nothing in that damn cabinet. It tastes like Robitussin or battery acid or whatever. Forget it. No, man, let's get drunk. No, we're not going to get drunk. No, I'm not going to have you throwing up all over the carpet that I got to clean this house later anyway. No. So one of the quickest ways to, keep your kids from becoming or experimenting with alcohol or being drunkards, have a little drink with them. During a meal or whatever. That's how they do it in Europe. Have a little drink with them when they're very young. They get to taste it. Oh, I don't want that. Forget it. Drink this cold milk instead, or or this punch, or this orange juice, or this soda, whatever. Don't drink none of that alcohol. Because now granted, later in life you might acquire a taste for alcohol. You start to learn what foods go with which meals and whatnot. You cultivate your taste. That'll happen. But the fact is, you got through childhood without becoming one of those teenage alcoholics they used to show on the ABC afternoon movie. You don't want to become a statistic like that. Now, I've thrown down all these little lessons that every kid should know. And that's no guarantee of success, okay? That's no guarantee that your kid's not going to one day walk up to you and say, "Gee, Dad, you're fucked." Because that can happen. Even worse, parents, if your parents are standing behind you when your kid says, "Gee, Dad, you Mom, you're fucked," and your parents or your grandparents are like, "Oh, we've been vindicated. That's the same crap you pulled on us." But hey, if you take lessons, you might be a little better off than you were before. And gratitude for your continued interest. Thank you for coming tonight. And good night, Gotham City, wherever you are.